Well, good morning, everybody. It's Daybreak here. We continue on with Hospital Week, leading up to this week's free event to the community, a health event from 9 to 1, Saturday, May 13th at Mason General Hospital in Shelton. One of the things that folks will be able to learn more information on is the topic of conversation today, fall risk prevention and screening. I'm happy to have in studio Cheryl Woods and Rob Bennington in to talk about this. Good morning.
Hi.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming on. This is a big issue that impacts a lot of folks around this community. And so I thought we'd talk a little bit about the upcoming community health event, some of the things that you'll be providing information on family and friends and family that have folks who may be more susceptible to these types of things. So let's start with that. Rob, let's start with you. What is the common, is there a common thread between everybody who potentially has a risk of a fall, or how can we determine who maybe is a higher risk to have a fall injury?
The statistics tell us that folks that are 65 and older, and it's not necessarily a distinct cutoff, but folks that are 65 and older tend to have a higher risk for falls. So if you look at the statistics, that age group, it's actually the number one trauma-related injury that folks 65 and older can get. It causes a lot of hip fractures and such, and it's actually the number one cause of trauma-related death in that age group too. So it mostly stems from, what we find is it mostly stems from sedentary lifestyles or not getting enough exercise.
Yeah. Cheryl, that's a major portion of the population here in Mason County, 65 and above. Do you guys see a lot of fall injuries coming into Mason General?
Yes, we do. The statistic is that 1 in every 3 Americans 65 and over have a fall in a year. The therapy department, of course, works with folks who've fallen, and if they've had a fracture, then we help them get moving again, teach them to use their cane, crutches, walker, whatever is most appropriate for them.
What is it about a sedentary lifestyle that would lead to this? Do the bones atrophy, or do they turn brittle, or why is it that there's a sedentary lifestyle, maybe a component there?
Yeah. So when someone is sedentary, then their muscles get weaker. They lose range of motion, flexibility, strength, and balance. Balance is a multi-system activity, and so if you're not using it, you lose it.
Uh-huh.
So moving is important to keep all those systems working properly. The balance is a combination of your vision, which is important, your inner ear mechanism, the vestibular system, keeps your head upright and tells your brain when you're off balance.
Mm-hmm.
The musculoskeletal system has systems in place where the nerves from your feet give a quick message, hey, I just stepped on a rock, I need to adjust. And so keeping all those systems in top working order takes movement. If you sit a lot, then those systems don't get worked and they lose their ability.
Do you get people coming to you proactively, or is it a lot of perhaps family members asking for, I feel like I may need to start informing my parents that this is a possibility, and then looking at ways to change things in the house maybe? Is it more the 65 and older coming to you, or the kids in these situations? Rob?
I see a lot of it's the caregivers that see the concern. Oftentimes, we're getting a little less active, and we don't see the risks that we have, or others may be able to see the gait as we're walking, see some of the balance issues or potential trip issues, and for some reason it's very difficult for us to see that in ourselves, but our caregivers and loved ones often see it, and so we get a lot of that concern from that group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the falls prevention focus is prevention.
Yeah.
So we want people to recognize the signs early and talk to their doctor about it early, before they have that fatal fall. So definitely we're trying to promote that people need to be aware and get their eyes checked every year, make sure their glasses prescription is up to date so that that's not a component of why they're losing their balance. Get their medications checked with their doctor. Make sure maybe a medication is causing some dizziness that is making them unsteady. And get some exercise.
I was talking with Jeremy Hicks from the North Mason Regional Fire Authority last week, and one of the things that a lot of fire and EMT folks are now going to doing some preemptive looks when they show up to a house. If there is a fall incident there, they'll do a survey and perhaps even come back at a later time to help look at parts of the house that may contribute to some of these things. It seems like a pretty good, interesting program, again, a proactive approach to this, so hopefully the falls don't reoccur, or you can stop one from happening in the first place. Have you guys heard about this thing?
Yeah, I think what they do is really good, because EMS providers in the county get to see the conditions inside people's homes, and that's another thing I wanted to talk about is the risk at home. So sometimes houses aren't set up to let you traverse the house safely. There's people love their throw rugs, and that's a big danger. We find that people trip on the throw rugs, or the throw rugs will slip out from underneath them. So and also wires stretched across walking space is not a good idea. But there's all kinds of home modifications that EMS providers get to see that could potentially help people prevent falls at home. So that's a really great thing. They're also identifying people that are at risk for falls and forwarding that information to those that can help them, like their providers.
This upcoming Saturday from 9 to 1 is the free all-community health event at Mason General Hospital, with some more information on fall risk prevention and screenings. What will be available for folks to get information here this upcoming weekend?
So on that weekend, I and one of my physical therapists, Mary Jones from the hospital therapy department, will be there, and we will be doing some screening tests, having people walk 10 feet, sit from a chair, stand up from a chair, walk 10 feet, turn around and sit down in the chair. We'll be timing them and giving them an idea of their fall risk from the amount of time that takes them to do that. We may do some other balance tests and kind of let people know how they're doing with their balance and if they, may need to improve on that.
Well, it's going to be a lot of great information overall, but this is a big, important key piece that maybe you're not necessarily thinking about. Fall risk prevention can definitely lead to further complications down the line, so a good opportunity to get screened and checked this weekend, 9 a.m. to 1 at Mason General Hospital all day, Saturday, May 13th. Again, I'm talking with Rob Bennington and Cheryl Woods from the Fall Prevention team here during Public Hospital Week. Thanks for coming on.